Hi guys, this is going to be kind of a different video. It's going to be how to learn a language. I've lived in Tenerife for about 2 years now. I moved here 25th of April 2012, and so it's coming up to 2 years. And I just want to give tips, advice, and how I coped with moving, leaving friends, starting school here, learning a different language, and stuff like that. I haven't made any notes, so this is just all from the top of my head and what I've learned. Right, so when I left England, which is where I'm originally from, when I left England, I was really upset because I didn't want to go, but it was to do with my parents, and they had to come here for a reason, which I'm not really going to say, but it's to do with jobs and the whole situation in England. Anyway, so I moved here, and honestly I didn't really know what to expect. Before I moved here I did have some Spanish lessons, but honestly I wasn't really interested because I didn't think it was going to be that hard. I loved learning Spanish at school, but we never really did that much, and the teacher was actually French, so she couldn't actually pronounce the words that well. When I came here, I just knew numbers, how are you, what's your name, the basics basically. So when I actually started school here, I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? When in class, when people come up to me and ask questions, and I was honestly really lost. It is a really scary thing to do, and to be in a class of people and none of them really speak your language, and you just feel like the outsider all the time. But I've got past that now. So when I started school, honestly it is tough, and here how the school system works is you have exams of each topic, like of each topic you do of each subject. You have an exam on it, and in one term they do average of all your exam scores, and then they put, as well as homework and aptitude in class, they put that as your grade. I think this system is similar to America, but I'm not exactly sure, but it sounds kind of similar as far as I know. So then, because there's 3 terms in total, so the third term you have an exams as well, obviously, and they do an average of your grades overall of what you've been graded for that term. So really every exam you do is really important, and when I started school here I didn't know that's how it worked, because in England you do exams every now and again and tests and stuff, but none of them are really that important until you get to GCSEs, and you don't I was completely new to this and I didn't know any of it. And so on the third term, if you failed more than 3, you have to study all summer, which is 3 months you have to study. Well, not everybody studies, but this is what I did to get, because if you don't pass that year you have to do the whole year again, and that sounds really harsh, and to be honest it is really difficult, but I guess it makes people work. Although if you go up the next year, then you're stuck with the people that maybe aren't so interested in learning, and they're in your class, so you're still stuck with the people you don't want to be with. So that's how it works, and if you repeat I believe this is right, if you repeat more than 3 times, they kick you out of school. This depends on your whole attitude as a person as well. So if you're, say, like me, and you've started school and you're from a different country but you want to learn, then I doubt they'll kick you out. But I believe that's how it works. Right, so how I learn the language. Now, I don't speak fluent Spanish, but I speak, I'd say almost fluent. Now, when you're a child, I mean a child about 5 or 6 years old, you can learn a language within 3 months. But when you're getting older, and you're about my age, or I'd say 10 years old or older, it takes a lot longer because you don't pick it up so quickly. So it is really difficult, but how I learned it is I tried to read books in Spanish. This goes for any language, but I tried to read books in Spanish. Even if I didn't understand what was happening, I just tried to read and continue reading. If there's a word I don't understand, I write it down, but I won't look it up in the dictionary at the time. I'll just write it down and then I can look it up later and then learn it. Because if you stop reading and looking the word up in the dictionary, then you're going to forget roughly what's happening in the story. Now, I find reading a fictional story one of the most difficult things, because a lot of books they use slang, they use these phrases. I'll use an example. Me and my friend Abril, and she's from Uruguay, but she's lived here for ages, so she's still a Spanish speaker, and she's obsessed with McFly, and she bought their autobiography, but they don't have it in Spanish, they only have it in English. And in that, they all really do. They all use English, typical British phrases, which can't really be translated. Like, I think it was Danny, he wrote, from our neck of the woods. And basically that means from my area, but to translate that literally into Spanish, the person you're speaking to is going to be like, what? What are you talking about? So that is real, and there's phrases like that in Spanish which make me think, what on earth, is happening? But that's just something you have to get used to. So yes, and I forgot to say, I haven't repeated a year since I've been here. I've had to work every summer though, because the first time I moved here, that summer, I moved just before summer because I moved here in April and I started school in May, and here they finished school June the 20th, I believe. So I only had a month or so school here, and so I didn't know about the exams. I didn't know they were that important. I just tried to do what I could, and the teacher let me use an English to Spanish dictionary, and they did all help me, and somehow, I have no idea how, but I managed to pass 5 subjects out of 10, even though I couldn't really speak any Spanish, so I'm happy with that. And I had to study 5 subjects through summer to pass to next year, and I had to get 2 subjects out of the 5.